Ladies and gentlemen, with a new Smite patch brings us yet another new god. Yes, this time we have Chaac, the Mayan god of rain, who is apparently sponsored by the Mayan Umbrella Company. Well, you know, that's how it goes. So, this is the standard skin. Here's the secondary skin, Maelstrom. Very chalkish? No, well, anyway. So that's the two skins. What's we're gonna do is, as per normal, go over the skills. Now, for any of you who wonder about me doing it here because there's not really anything interesting to look at, I would actually like to take the abilities and do them while I'm in the training session. You know, just go into the tutorial screen and do them there. But the big thing about doing it here is that you actually get to see the scaling. And as far as I know, last time I checked, the actual scaling numbers aren't shown in the game, which is very disappointing because I'd actually rather have a demonstration, like as I go over the skills and talk about them. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and go into Chaac here. First thing, let's look at his attack progression. He has a 3 attack combo, a 1, a 0.5, and then a 1.5. So he attacks once, attacks twice real quickly, and then he has a third attack that is a little bit slower. But what I've noticed about Chaac is that his attacks per second actually seem to go up pretty quickly. He scales really well with attack speed items. As a matter of fact, you can usually get very close to the 2 attacks per second using one item. Like I usually build just, let's say Quinn's Blades or Quinn's Size, and that's usually enough, especially with the 2-hit combo that's very quick here at the beginning. So let's go ahead and talk about Chaac's abilities. Chaac's passive is Overflow. After 5 successful basic attacks, your next ability costs no mana whatsoever. So Chaac has an ability that many MMO players might be used to call clearcasting. You attack so many times, you get a free skill. And so with Chaac's natural high attack speed, and then giving him at least 1 attack speed item, you should be able to be fairly mana efficient. Just go out there, get those 5 attacks, and then you can use your abilities. And this allows Chaac to harass very quickly, and also allows him to be very sustainable, because you can sit out there and not use a lot of mana if you need to. Alright, his first ability is Thunder Strike. Chaac throws his axe forward. It deals damage to all enemies in the targeted area. The axe remains idle in the ground for 5 seconds or until another ability is used. So Chaac's big thing is that a lot of his abilities are based around Thunder Strike here. Now, it says he throws his axe. It's actually kind of a spirit axe. You don't throw your main weapon. So you still have your weapon to attack with. But the spirit axe stays in the world, and by itself it doesn't do anything. But if you use the next 2 abilities, either Torrent or Rain Dance, then you get additional benefits to that. Stormcall, his ultimate, also has an additional benefit too. We'll get into those. So as you can see here, we get up to 320 base damage, and it's got 60% physical power scaling. So it has a pretty good base damage, so it's probably one of the best things you can get to start off with. It's got a very large radius as well. As a matter of fact, when we get into a game and play as Chaac, there's some debate on whether Chaac is balanced or overpowered. And it's kind of on the fence. I don't think anyone's really arguing that he's underpowered at this point. I haven't seen any of that. And part of it is really in this Thunder Strike. This Thunder Strike does a good amount of damage. It's got amazing lane clear. And, of course, with his clear casting, it means he can cast it fairly often. But the radius is just huge. And compared to some other Guardians, warriors, because he's not a tank, he is a warrior, which is kind of a bruiser, he seems to have a really good sustainability and lane clearance that some of the others don't have. Alright, moving on to Torrent, his next ability. Chaac spins his axe around him, dealing damage to all enemies, and he gains protections for each enemy hit up to 5. Now this includes creep. So gods and creep are included here. If the axe is out from Thunder Strike, he will dash to the axe location, and it does 50% base damage to the enemies he passes through, and then he executes the spin dash, or the spin damage. Spin attack. You know what I'm trying to say. He gets up to 300 damage as a base, so comparing to Thunderstrike, that's 320. So it's not as high as Thunderstrike, but it does get 70% physical power scaling. So this is one of those abilities that's going to do better towards the end game, and so probably one of the abilities that you'll get later. Although the main benefit here is that you get protections for every enemy hit. So you start at level 1, you get 4, all the way up to level 5, which gives you 20. So if you get all 5 enemies, that's 100 protections. That's a lot. That is some of the most powerful protections as far as items are concerned. So you can be very survivable with this. Now, this counts as Chaac's escape move as well. And it's not really reliable for that. And it's also not very good for chasing. It's great for initiating. So when you throw the axe, it takes a moment for it to land on the ground. And then you can do torrent to get to it, but by the time, if you're chasing someone, by the time you get to the point where the axe hits the ground and you can dash to it, you're probably already up on it. And so it's not great for chasing. It can be used for escapes because when you do dash to the axe, you clip through the world. Think of Bastet's Pounce and Return. Alright, let's move on to Rain Dance. Chaac summons a rainstorm around his current location for 6 seconds, and while it rains, he regains health, and enemies are caught in the mud, slowed, and their attack speed is reduced. If the axe is out, there's a rainstorm that spawns where the axe from Thunderstrike is. So, I haven't really found too much use for that, because Rain Dance, it is a heal. It's a self-heal, though. It doesn't heal other allies, but it does provide a distant slow, so I suppose it's there for that. Because it doesn't do any damage to the enemies, but it does slow them down. So what you might be able to do is maybe in a team fight throw the axe down and do your thunderstorm to have an additional slowing effect. The slowing effect and the healing effect do not stack. So if you put your axe down and then you do your rain dance and you stand and you overlap them, it doesn't stack on the enemy. It just increases the radius. It is a 25% speed debuff on the enemy caught in the radius, and a 25% slow for anyone caught within that range, which is pretty nice. It also provides 30 healing plus 15% physical power every half a second. So for 6 seconds, we're talking about 12 ticks. Over 300 healing to yourself, which is really strong, and I think this is also one of the points of contention. So there's a couple. Chaac has amazing damage ability and sustain with his Rain Dance. It is a really strong heal. Now you compare this to other warriors, like you look at Guan Yu, he's got a heal, but it doesn't heal near as much as Rain Dance does. It also doesn't have the additional benefits of slowing the enemy and weakening their attack speed. However, Guan Yu's healing does heal the party, and can be used, well, I wouldn't say it's that much of a different cooldown. So it's kind of difficult here. So Guan Yu can heal a group, whereas Chaac can only heal himself. So Chaac's healing is naturally stronger, but it feels like it is still a little bit more powerful than Guan's. We'll move on to Stormcall now. This is the ultimate. Chaac charges his lightning axe and unleashes a blast, silencing and damaging all enemies around him while in the air. Chaac is immune to damage and CC. So this is another point of contention. Again, he has immunity to crowd control and any damage. You cannot hurt him. You cannot control him. When he pops this ability, it is going to hit. It is going to happen. You can't stop it. And there has been some contention about the fact that he can't be damaged, because you can't stop him. You can't kill him before it lands. Now, if it is triggered within range of his axe from Thunderstrike, Stormcall will supercharge. It deals additional damage and also knocks the enemies up. So you've got an ability that's got a 3-second silence, and that's, again, we talk about contention. Chaac is very much debated right now. 3-second silence, a very, very long silence, but it's not a hard CC, so it's not necessarily... I really think his ult is fine. I'm going to be quite honest. I might be a little on the fence as far as him being immune to damage. Immune to CC? Fine. Most ults do that anyway. The immune to damage thing? A little tricky. A little tricky. The damage of the ult really isn't terribly high when you think about it. It's 350 plus 100% scaling. So yes, it scales very well. It does damage in a fairly large area. But compared to other ultimates, it really doesn't hit as hard. It's really not meant to be a nuke. It's really meant to be a control. It's supposed to get in there, do damage to a group of enemies. If you can get the axe out there, then it also CCs. It knocks everybody up. So it interrupts abilities. It allows your team to get in position. It really does a lot that can really help you and your team. And that 3-second silence after it lands means they're really going to have no way of escaping and no way of counter-initiating you. The additional damage is 150 plus 20, so not a lot of scaling on the additional damage that you get with Thunderstrike. But of course 150, you add that to the already 350, so it's 500 damage at a base level. That's pretty good. That's pretty good damage right there. But honestly, getting the Storm Call with the axe is not always the easiest thing, because when you throw your axe, the enemy kind of knows they don't want to be around it. And they've probably already scattered because of the damage the axe does by itself anyway. But if you can pull it off, it can be quite strong. But other ults, of course, are a bit better as far as damage potential. So as you can see, I've already talked about him being highly debated, and I'm really not sure. I tend to think he leans on a little bit of the overpowered side, but it's not by a huge margin. In Conquest, I think he has amazing potential for solo mid, possibly even jungle. He can hold a solo lane so well because he can clear creep so well. But I've taken him out into arena fights, and while he does amazing there, if the enemy team knows what they're doing, they can kind of shut him down because he doesn't have a reliable escape. Thunderstrike, while you can clip through walls, it's not easy to escape with. If you're running away already, it's kind of like chasing. If you're already running away and you're trying to throw the axe in front of you, it's not going to give you an additional speed. The best thing you can do is use it as a juke. Throw the axe in a different direction than what you're running, and then if the enemy catches up to you, dash back to it. That's like your best bet there. Alright, so now that you've gone over the abilities and we've kind of talked a little bit about what might make him a little bit overpowered, I'm going to take him into a Conquest match, like I usually do, and let's see how we do.
Alright, so this might be an interesting match, and we're just going to have to see how this goes. We have no ADC, no attack carry, so no range. The only range we have is in the form of Poseidon the Mage, so yes. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with my axe. And since we'll be in lane, I'm just going to go ahead and start with my boots and get some consumables. I'm just going to go with that. So I'm going to be duoing, looks like more than likely with Bastet. Let's get over here and do what we can. Now, there was a lot of talk in the beginning about Chaac possibly being overpowered or possibly being balanced. And, you know, honestly, I couldn't really say one way or the other. A lot of people like to say he's overpowered. But having played him a lot, I've kind of seen where he's not as strong as you might think. Like, in Conquest, he definitely seems like he's got more power. But when you take him into something like an arena, something where you're fighting in a team fight, he isn't as strong as some of the other gods. His power output, especially if you build him as a Bruiser, is not going to be as high. Yeah, that was tier. And one thing I have run across while playing Chaac is there is at least one hard counter to Chaac. And that comes in the form... Are you going to give it to me? Okay, I'll take it. Very good. The one hard counter to Chaac is in the form of Chung-Ah. Really. Chung-Ah, the way it works is that Chaac's axe fires fairly slowly, right? And it doesn't do damage the moment it lands.
Retreat! Your right tower is under attack.
As you can see there, it doesn't do damage immediately. In fact, I was able to hit Agni because it didn't do damage instantly. The axe lands, and then it fires off a projectile into the distance. So it's not instantaneous. So a Chung can basically dance away from the axe.
An ally has been slain. First blood.
And not get hit. Combine that with the fact that Chung has her own healing, right? Well, you think, well, Chaac's got his own healing too, right? Well, yeah, but Chaac's healing can be reduced by Chung. Her healing ability reduces the healing of other players. So not only can she dance out of all of your damage, let's just get this out of the way. She can dance out of all of your damage, and then she can heal herself and reduce your own healing. So she is a really good counter to Chaac. Just get that out there. Here we go. I'm just going to go ahead and use my rain to keep healing myself. Now, Bastet doesn't really have lane clear, so I'm going to keep leveling my axe. I'm going to do that first. Depending upon where I am, what I'm doing, if I'm solo, I probably will level the axe first because it's lane clear. If I'm in a duo lane and I've got someone else in lane with me that's got good lane clear, I will probably level my 3 to give myself healing. And in this fight here, let's just get out of there. I want to have at least some kind of lane clear that Bastet doesn't have.
Your right tower is under attack.
Alright, let's take a look at how the fight's going. Poseidon's fighting Zeus in the mid. Seems he's doing a really good job of it. Getting some good hits on that Agni. I'm going to go ahead and use my rain again here. Just get my clear casting up. Oh, got my ultimate.
Ultimate is ready.
Get in there. There we go.
An enemy has been slain.
That Agni's not going to want to stay. He's way too low. Or he's just going to hang around and die. I'll take it. I'll take it. Don't look a gift Agni in the mouth, I guess. Alright, let's silence this Thanatos. Alright. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is gonna see me dead. Bastet, I kind of wish you would have hung around a little further. With that silence on Thanatos, we would have been able to kill him. But that's okay. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get some cooldown reduction in the form of the Tabi, and I'll move into Jotun's Wrath after that. Don't have a lot of stuff here. I think I want to go ahead and get teleport towers. Just go ahead and get that now and purchase another healing potion. Alright, let's go, because they're pushing on the lane. Alright, let's get that out there. Boom, plenty of damage. Let's slow her down. Yeah, they don't want to stick around. You can see there, they don't want to stick around. They're being very pensive. In fact, if I would have had my 2-up, I would have teleported right to Artemis there. Alright. Oh, no, 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 no. See, as you can see here, not a really great chasing tool, but it can do damage along the way. Alright, now normally I wait a level to level my ult and my primary damage dealing ability, but I'm going to go ahead and level my 3 because I want to get a little extra healing. So next level I'm going to go ahead and put a point into that. And that should give me a little more sustainability for this. Alright, let's go ahead and level it up now. Walk into it, please. Oh well. Very nicely done. There's Thanatos. We're going to silence him and keep him away. Oh, Bastet. Got her cats on him. That's... Unfortunately, I have no mana. Oh, I need to rely on my clearcasting. Oh, there he is. Alright, get out of here. Nope. Artemis doing plenty of damage there. So, you know, I have to basically do more damage to her than she can do to me as quickly as I can. So that's unfortunate that I died there, but as you can see, I mean, yes, he's powerful, but a good focus by a strong attack damage carry or a good strong god of any sort can really still do a number on him.
Your middle tower is under attack. Thanks. I'll attack them.
Of course, there I'm doing a good amount of damage to Agni. Alright.
An enemy has been slain. Thanks.
So I suppose the one issue people might have with Chaac and his abilities, and this one I don't disagree with really, is that the range on his axe is huge. I mean, you can see right there, I hit that Agni without hardly even trying really. Okay, I'm going to do my silence on Art, and then we're going to... There we go. So the ultimate isn't super powerful. The ultimate is mainly suited for controlling, so keeping them from using some kind of ability.
Your right tower is under attack.
I got 14 seconds on my teleport, so once that comes up, I'm going to teleport out of here. Alright, my clear casting is up, so let's go ahead and throw the axe. Alright, clear casting is up again, and we'll heal. So just trying to sustain as much as possible. Alright. Doing a little bit of damage to me here. Throw the axe.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Alright, let's go ahead and get out of there.
Your team has destroyed a right
Juking that Artemis. So I pretty much have the power now to lane clear for the most part.
Your middle tower be right destroyed.
Oh shoot. Get out of there.
Has been slain. Thanks. An enemy has been slain.
Oh well.
Cancel.
That sucks. I was a little bit too hurt to do that. Alright. Full Jotuns. Very good. And I can go ahead and teleport right back. Well, we're doing good. Uh-oh. Thanatos is in the middle.
Enemy missing left.
Don't know what happened to my left here as well. Right-hand lane appears to be empty as well. I'm not entirely sure where the enemy team is. I've got my Agni here. Artemis is still missing. Taking a bit of damage. But I'm not overly worried about it right now. Go ahead and get some healing up. So as you can see, there, I think maybe his healing could use a little toning down. That I would admit to. At maximum level, his healing does quite a bit. On top of the fact that it scales with attack damage power. I mean, look at that healing that I just went through. Alright, I'm gonna silence you to keep you from summoning your boar. Throw. And there she goes.
An ally has been slain. Ultimate is ready.
So, I guess I don't really disagree. Maybe he's overpowered. But I really think it's one of those things where the beautiful thing about it is it seems like it just could really use some fine-tuning. For the most part, there isn't anything really I would take away from him. I think the healing's fine. Might just be a bit much on the healing. The axe, I wouldn't change its damage, really. Ooh, nice. Maybe it's radius, though. But that's a tricky one, right? Because the damage that the axe does is avoidable by the fact that it doesn't do the damage the moment it hits the ground. I'm going to try this. Level 13. I don't have any healing, or I don't have any, I don't have any lifesteal, but I think I can still do this. Maybe not. I might die to this. Oh dear God, I barely did that. Holy crap. Okay, get out of here. Alright, what I want to do... Now, Chaac scales really well with attack speed. I mean, not only does it really help his... let me see... ally telework, okay. Not only does it help his clear casting... Oh. Lane got pushed back. Let's get there quickly. Not only does it help the clear casting, but his natural scaling on it, natural attack speed, actually goes up pretty high. I mean, you look at this huge weapon he's wielding, you would think he wouldn't attack very fast, but he actually does. Alright, I have full healing, and I have my axe, my lane clear basically maxed out as well, so the next thing we'll do will be the torrent, which I haven't really used to its fullest potential. If I hit a full line of creep with it, I can get some decent protections, but because I haven't been leveling it, it's really not as important right now. But later, when I get it to level 5, it's going to give me like 100 protections if I hit an entire creep line with it, so that's something I'll be looking into. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and call missing left again, just... Alright, there's Artemis. How you doing, Art? Alright, so there's one here. Now, when fighting Art, let's get her into a creep line. Alright, there goes... Alright, let's silence her so she can't get the boar off. Oh, wow. How about we just kill her? I think Bastet got the kill, actually, but that's fine. Here we go. Got clear casting, might as well heal myself up to full. I do see him as kind of a more survivable Guan. I mean, Guan Yu does do quite a bit of damage, especially with his Talo Assault. Alright, let's get in there. Thanatos is diving. Zeus is running. Zeus is dead. I am in the death threat range here, but I think Thanatos already dove into the ground. Alright, I need some healing. Alright, uh-oh, Artemis. She's already used the boar, so I guess that doesn't matter. Alright, throwing out the axe. Still hit her with it. Was able to teleport in front of her. Come on, throw. Ah. Alright, not gonna risk it. I'm gonna get out of here. We're done. Yeah, very unusual game, but we're doing really well with it, honestly. Let's see if we can get a full item build before it's over, though. Alright, Quinn size. Definitely like the size. It helps me beat down enemies with their, you know, the less health they have. Let's see. Beyond this, I kind of like getting damage. But I might also get something situational. So, like, what are we dealing with? We're dealing with 1, 2, 3 magical damage sources and 2 physical sources. But the 2 physical sources are pretty high. Thanatos hits pretty hard and has a high attack speed. Artemis hits really hard. That's really her one claim to fame. So, when it comes to this, one thing I could have done was Breastplate of Valor. But one thing that works really well with Chaac is the Witchstone. So I think I'll go ahead and get that next. And the reason why is the Witchstone has that aura where all enemies have their attack speed reduced and their physical power is reduced. Well, you can combine that with your Rain Dance, which naturally has an attack speed debuff. So you're looking at like a 35-40% attack speed debuff by combining the Witchstone and the Rain. So the Rain is good for more than just healing. It heals, it slows. Uh-oh. A bit too much here. Thankfully Zeus wasted his thunderstorm at the wrong spot. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of damage on Agni. Alright, you know what I'm going to do is before I get into this fight, I'm going to get myself an attack speed buff. I mean, look how fast he's swinging already. I'm at 1.5 at level 17 with just the Quins. And it's going to go up even higher as I level. So 1.6 now. And I've got some good running speed. So let's get rolling over here.
Okay.
Alright, let's go ahead and slow down your attack speed, and I'm going to keep you from summoning that boar. Get a little bit of protection, and there's the kill. There's Zeus trying to finish me off. I think I can get him before he gets me, though. Yep, there we go.
Be careful, right.
Let's get out of here.
Ultimate is ready.
Alright, once I finish off the Witchstone, I'm probably going to get some magical defense, because their team is really... Let's face it, their team is mostly magical. I'll need to focus on that. Witchstone should be all I really need. Combine it with my natural slowing.
Welcome.
And we should be good. Just look how fast I'm getting those clearcasting stacks now, too. Alright, so the enemy team is nowhere... Oh, there's Artemis. She's back in the middle with a Agni there. We've got Mercury and Poseidon pushing the middle, it looks like. Or at least defending the middle, because they were running back towards our base. God, look how quick he just... 1.8 attack speed with a speed buff. Alright, enemy team. I see a Vulcan in the right. I see Agni in the right jungle. Alright, let's get this taken care of. I'm going to be targeted by the Phoenix, but that's okay. I'm going to use my healing. And then wait for my lane to come up. Alright. Hey, there we go. Now I'm level 20. Looks like I'll be able to get this Phoenix. Let's go ahead and use my clear casting to heal. There we go.
Your team has destroyed a middle enemy. Your team has destroyed a left enemy Phoenix.
Alright, let's get into the middle. Looks like Zeus and Art are here. Let's just go ahead and take her out. She won't last. Even if she turned around to try and fight, her attack speed would have been reduced pretty dramatically. Alright, let's go up behind this Zeus over here. Let's go ahead and throw the axe. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my axe to increase the damage and hit that Zeus. Alright, let's throw the axe. And there he goes. Thanatos running. Don't blame him. Thanatos really not able to do too much. Thanatos' big thing is his attack speed. Nicely done. Thanatos, of course, can do quite a bit of damage with his abilities if he hits with them. But his overall attack speed with the Quinn's size, for example, it'd be probably what I'd be worried about the most. Alright, there we go. Let's get out of here. Let's finish the Witchstone. I didn't have that finished before, so yeah, I guess Artemis would have had a slight advantage there, but I have my Rain, so I can still do that. Alright, so magical defense. Yeah, I'm really thinking shield. I want to keep my attack damage up. So shield will give me some magical defense as well as giving me some attack damage, so we can definitely use that. So building that Bruiser type, right? So getting the physical defense that it's not the best physical defense, but it gives me more attack speed, and it gives me movement speed to chase, and it synergizes with my rainstorm. So I really don't need a lot of physical defense to be tanky. And if you look at the combination of Quinn size and the Witchstone, I'm at 1.77 attack speed, which is quite fast. Alright, Thanatos is pushing the middle here. Alright, let's slow him down. I guess we didn't need to. Mercury took him out. Ah, Art. Well, looks like the enemy team agreed to a surrender. So my last item, of course, would have been the shield. As you can see, I have enough money to finish it. Beyond that, might have gone damage. So probably Deathbringer. Might have been the item to go with there, just to get the damage up there. It depends on how well their mage team would have worked together, because if their mage team would have really started to do some damage to us, I could have easily gone another magical defense item. Didn't have to be any kind of damage there. But so I guess if anything, this match that I recorded just now might be a case towards nerfing Vulcan. Or nerfing Chaac, sorry, Vulcan. He was the other god that was redone and I need to look at. But Chaac here, you know, I think some fine-tuning will put him in a good spot. Overall, he has some serious strengths, especially in Conquest. The lane clear, the sustainability. In team fights, he can be helpful, but his being a bruiser, you can definitely see that his damage output compared to some of the other gods isn't as high. But of course, he does bring that wonderful slowing field, the rainstorm, and attack speed debuff with him. So Chaac could be very well help out in those situations. It's just that it really appears that his one, the axe, might just be a bit too large, even though it does have a delay in the damage. Now again, I have seen him just completely countered by a Chang'e. So if there's any other gods that can completely counter him, I'd have to probably think about that, but there's at least one that can. So it's one of those things where I have won and lost some, you know, a decent amount of matches with Chaac to say that for a while there, I really wasn't sure. It was hard to say. Fighting against him, it felt like he was overpowered. Fighting as him, especially in big team-based fights, didn't seem like he was. But, you know, you put everything together, and I think maybe there is a little bit too much on him right now. But, hey, that's up to Hi-Rez. We'll have to see. And, you know, I'm always open to your thoughts. So please leave something in the comments section below. Let me go ahead and give you guys the breakdown screen, as I always do. There we go. We'll take a look. And I did pretty well. 10 and 2. 6 assists. Mercury beating me by 1 kill, but had 1 more death. Not bad at all. Overall, our team performed splendidly, 36 to 18, with 30 assists to their 16. So we were definitely helping each other out quite a bit as well. So they had, well, we had a weird comp because we didn't even have a tank. We didn't have an attack damage carry, but they had the carry, but they didn't have a tank. So that's probably what ultimately ended it for them. It was just their characters were a bit squishy, and we were winning on those team fights. So there you go. Final breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching this overview and gameplay for Chaac. I'll see you next time.